Excuse me. What in the world are you thinking?
Mean Gene, the first thing you need to do is to tell these people to shut up if you want to hear what I gotta say.
What up, y'all? Came to Sexy Ninja, the place to be for Paper Saber Universe. This is the New World Podcast, brother. We're talking about TNA Impact, June 13, 2024. Matthew Tom on commentary. We started off with Mike Santana versus Zachary Wentz, with Trey Miguel on the outside. The Rascals, they have a big tag team match at Against All Odds on Friday, and that is tonight. Mike and Steve will be facing them, but we get this matchup here, and this was a fun match. Mike Santana gets the win. I'm very excited for Against All Odds. This will be my first coverage of a TNA pay-per-view, and I'm enjoying TNA Impact in general. This is the second episode I've watched, and I'm having a lot of fun. I have the TNA Plus app, and it is wonderful. It is very wonderful. Lots of history there. Then we get Tom, who has an interview with Mustafa Ali. I really like what Mustafa Ali's doing. He's playing this politician role. You know, he's dodging questions. He's flipping answers to be more like he's the victim and everything like that. So I'm really digging what Mustafa Ali is doing outside of the WWE, and I like the fact that he has this huge match with Seven at Against All Odds, and I can't wait to see what he can do. You know, it's been a while since I've seen Mustafa Ali. I remember, like, there was times when I was like, get this guy off, just get him off camera. But now I'm intrigued. I'm like, okay, he found a character to make wrestling great again and stuff like that. I really dig it, and I hope, I just wish nothing but the best for Mustafa Ali, even though back in the day, man, I used to be like, get him off the TV. Now I'm like, put him on TV. I want to see what he can do. The System's backstage. We got the Hardy compound. We are visiting the Hardy compound later on in this show. Masha, who goes to Alicia and is like, hey, you know, we're in a TNA Knockouts World Tag Team Champions. Alicia's like, not now. I got a lot going on. But next up, we have Marty Bell with Allison Hex versus Masha Slamovic. And this was a fun match. Marty Bell got the win, though, because of Allison, you know. Then we have Steph DeLander with Zaya Brookside backstage, and then PCO walking around, you know, and because First Class comes up, they're like, hey, Rich Swann and AJ Francis, they got an interview next. They take the flower. PCO's mad. They do an interview for First Class with Gia, and PCO attacks. I don't understand PCO, but I want to. And I really, I don't understand PCO whatsoever, but it's pretty awesome. Then we get Danny Luna versus Tasha Steelz. Really fun match here. You know, Lars Fredrickson on the outside with Jody Threat, if I got that right. They're Spitfire, a tag team. The women's action here is great. Like, they're really great wrestlers. They're really great athletes in that ring. Danny Luna got the win, and I really like her finisher. Then we get Gia with Joe Hendry, and he calls upon Ace Steel to help him out to go further. Then here comes Frankie Kazarian. He's like, hey, man, you ain't gonna learn nothing from Ace Steel, this and that. So Ace Steel put the challenge to Frankie to face Joe at Against All Odds, and I was like, okay, let's do it. I believe. The Hardy compound with the System. They try to go through the back, but I forgot, you know, how batshit crazy the Hardy compound can be, and that's what it was, man. You got Brian Myers is like, you will always be Edge's bitch. You got Eddie turning into a wolf. Rebecca kills Alicia. Moose 69, you know, Vanguard 1. Yes, the Hardy compound is nuts. Little tease about Jeff Hardy, you know, and then they all kind of wake up and they're outside the gates of the Hardy compound, and it's just some batshit crazy awesomeness, man. I need to watch it again because I was like, fuck. I was like, I need Adobe to watch the Hardy compound stuff because this shit was crazy. But yeah, you got to watch it, man. I think they put it up on their YouTube. You got to watch this. It's definitely a big setup for Matt and Moose and their big match at Against All Odds. And it's just, yeah, it's something. Eddie turning into a wolf was like, what the fuck am I doing? And Rebecca, then we get Ash by Elegance versus Jada Stone. Ash gets the win. Ash looking good too, you know. But Rosemary, she's in the rafters watching. She's like, ooh, because I guess Ash by Elegance, from what my research is, she took out her partner Havoc, so Rosemary wants revenge. Jonathan Gresham promo, Jordan Grace promo. And she puts out the open challenge out there, and Jonathan was talking about Sami Callihan, of course. But Jordan Grace says, I'm putting a challenge out there for Against All Odds. Who wants to come against me? And who wants to try to take this championship away? I bet nobody. Then we go into our main event, Nick and Ryan Nemeth versus ABC, Chris and Ace. Oh, this was a great tag team match, a great way to end the show. I had a lot of fun. It's really interesting. Like, they have a setup where you can hear the ring a little bit more. You really don't hear the crowd as much, but it's a different feeling with TNA Impact, and I like it. I really enjoyed it. I put on my headphones this morning, got up, and I was like, all right, let's get this going. And at the starting of the show, I think it said it's Cincinnati, Ohio they were at, but then they kept referring that they're in Kentucky. So a little bit of fun, silliness there, but it's a pre-taped show. They do these shows and stuff like that, and they put them together, package them together, and put them out there. But that's okay. Jeff Hardy on the way back to TNA. Well, now we're gonna do something. My picks and predictions. All right, let's talk about Against All Odds 2024. On the countdown show, I believe we have Sami Callihan versus Jonathan Gresham. I picked Jonathan Gresham to get the win. And on the countdown show, the TNA Knockouts Tag Team Championships on the line. Hex versus Masha and Alicia. I'm picking Hex to win those championships and not to go really anymore. And what's funny is, like, I'm still brand new to everybody here, so feeling it out. Frankie Kazarian versus Joe Hendry. I'm picking in Joe because I believe. Steve and Mike Santana versus the Rascals. I believe Steve and Mike will get the win. Then we go into the TNA X Division Championship, which I feel like will be fun. Mustafa Ali versus Trent Seven. I feel like Mustafa Ali is going to do something, his shenanigans, and he's going to retain that championship. Then we go right into the TNA World Tag Team Championship. Brian Myers, Eddie Edwards, The System versus Ryan and Nick Nemeth. I believe Brian and Eddie will retain those championships for the TNA World Tag Team Championships. That's what I just said. Yeah, but that's what I feel. TNA Knockouts Championship Open Challenge, Jordan Grace versus, I am calling it, Tatum Paxley's going to show up and it's going to be like, oh, woohoo, but Jordan Grace will retain, Then we got the Broken Rules match for the TNA World Championship, Moose versus Matt Hardy. I am picking Moose to retain, but also the return of a Jeff Hardy. And I don't know what else they have planned. There's anything and everything can happen. That's what the world of pro wrestling has shown us. Or Ricochet could show up. You know what I mean? Everyone says he's AEW bound, but what if not? What if he's actually TNA bound? Oh, and then, all these crossovers they're talking about and everything. Jesus Christ, who is that? Yeah, so a lot of stuff going on. There's my picks and predictions for Against All Odds. And for the show itself, Impact, I give it a solid 3 out of 5. A good show. My match of the night is the main event, ABC versus Nick and Ryan Nemeth. That was an awesome match. So that's it. That's all. Tell me what you thought of the show. Drop those comments below. Hit that like. Hit that subscribe. Share with your grandma. Share with your grandma. Share with the mom down at Walmart. Go to ProWrestlingTees.com/New World Podcast. Get yourself that sweet nWp logo created by Penta X. And remember that the New World Podcast is for life, brother.
Chaos on the outside of the ring was enough to help Roxanne Perez score the victory. Jordan Grace was furious with Ash by Elegance after the fact.